Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to this first episode of the Happiness is Real morning show. I'm Camilla Calberg. I'm the founder of Calberg Consulting and Coaching, and I'm transformational coach. This episode is brought to you by Calberg Coaching, where we help executives get a better life on the other side of divorce. To learn more about what I do and book a discovery call, go to www.calbergcoaching.com. And with this, and no further ado, let's jump into the topic of today. I am so excited to talk about why I decided to invest my energy and to launch, why I wanted so much to launch this morning show, which will be and is a morning show. We go live every day, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. Eastern CEST, not Copenhagen time. I go live solo sometimes. I have guests joining me in the studio. And the reason why I go live, there is a very big reason for that. And that is to help as many men and women increase their awareness when they go through major life transformation as divorce is. I've been there myself, and I didn't read about divorce or divorcing when I decided to divorce. I had no idea about what I know now is that divorce is just a process, because after divorce comes another, that is another life. And it may be a life on your own. It may be a life in the co-parenting relationship perspective. Whatever it is, that is a life after divorce. So for me, as when I started this divorce coaching more than a year ago, talking about life before, during, and after divorce, actually the post-divorce phase has a different flavor now. And I also learned, as I'm now a regular podcast guest, what I do differently, or what I did differently that many people don't do. For example, my planning phase was very clear. What I did, which made or experience, or from experience with other lawyers, is not typical. And I say, okay, let me share, because I want to help as many men and women to thrive as fast and get as fast through this process, which a divorce is. So that is one reason for launching this show. Another reason I recently learned is that people typically procrastinate divorce for more than 3 years. Just imagine. So it's difficult to imagine when you haven't gone through divorce or haven't even been in the planning phase of it. But what I know to be true, and what I know from my clients and all the other professional resources out there who help people through divorce, is that first of all, you procrastinate your life. So if you procrastinate divorce, you put your life on pause. And you're not aware of that, because you are actually the main actor in this play that is called your life. So the longer you procrastinate divorce, the longer you linger in pain, the longer you are subconsciously accepting and living a mediocre life. And the more consequences and bigger consequences you put on yourself, on your emotional, mental, and physical well-being. And also just imagine, if you have kids, what that indecisiveness will cause of concern and stress for your kids. So that's another reason, a very, very strong reason why I decided, okay, now it's time to not only have a podcast, but actually do a live show to help you decide whatever you have to decide to create a better life, because there is going to be a better life. But what I know to be true, and maybe you want to say yes right now, and say, maybe not so, but there is always something better on the other side of of a relationship that doesn't serve you. And that is the whole point of this of this of this show. If you followed me for a while, I've been in a relationship myself, which didn't serve me. And I procrastinated divorce actually twice or several years because we were together. Then I decided to break free when our daughter was 1 year old. Then we got into this. During divorce, it was actually quite easy because very quickly split. He hardly saw his daughter for a year. And then I asked him, do you actually want to be a dad or not in this? And then he said, Camilla, I want to come back. All right. I was not prepared about that at all. But I invited him in and we went in therapy. And we continued in therapy for quite a long time. And therapy equals investing money in your life and in a project. But when you do investing in a project in the corporate world, you want return on investment, right? But we are less, I say, to the point when it comes about our life, which I think is actually very, very wrong. It's when it comes to our life, we shouldn't procrastinate anything. We should actually put up some measures and be very conscious whether we have a life that supports us or it doesn't support us. We should not just accept, because no, it's not about accepting, it's about tolerating. We would never tolerate a job that doesn't support us and fill our dreams. So I learned so much over the last 10 years, and that I want to bring back, share with you, and I hope to inspire you to take whatever decision that will be. I will also bring on show various guests in various roles, and this may be very interesting for you. I will bring on men to talk about their divorce experience. There are as many women out there, obviously there are also men out there. I talked about psychological violence or verbal abuse. It's men, it's women. Psychological abuse has no gender. So I will bring on men to inspire other men to heal and reach out for help. I will bring on women to talk about their experience of divorce and during the different phases of divorce. And they being on the other side of divorce, and what now? I will bring on, and that is this Sunday, I will bring on Despina, and I'm so bad at pronouncing Despina's surname. So Despina, if you're joining me right now, my apologies that I'm not yet trained in pronouncing your surname. But you're a lovely woman and you're a dear friend of mine, and that's what matters. But Despina, who you will connect with on Sunday, Despina is actually a child of a divorce, and what we typically forget as adults when we go through divorce is our children. We are so focused on our own feelings and the fight that we forget that we now have a very, very important role as a parent, and that we have this accountability about this very vulnerable young human being, and we have to take care of them. And that's what I experienced so much, and that's what I've observed, that we adults linger in frustration, linger in pain, and we forget that our children mirror us. We forget that they need unconditional love. And I will bring on stories from my own clients and where I help my clients change perspective. And that's so important to get out in the air. Because when I was about to file for divorce, when I really said, no more want to live with this person, you know what? I was broken. I was heartbroken, and I said, "How can my daughter be the only girl in school who has parents not living together?" You may be laughing at me. I just couldn't understand that. I'm just realizing I'm not even maybe live here on LinkedIn, on Instagram. It doesn't really matter. I'm sorry for this. All right, Instagram. Now you are back on live. Okay, when I decided to then file for divorce and realizing that my daughter was, how should I break the news? For my daughter. Hi, Mirella. I'm so sorry. I forgot to press live. So you're a bit into that, but just just enjoy. And I'm so happy you're here. So when I was in the decision of really saying, okay, no more, no more, um, then I was heartbroken, and I sat with my parents, and I sat with my sister, and I was so ashamed that I had to say out loud, gosh, I'm about to be a single mom. I'm about to break up the family. I took accountability and I said it very proudly. I'm the one who decided that my family is breaking, that I'm breaking up the family. When I was in this black hole of emotion, I was so sad. I was so ashamed. I thought that my daughter was going to be the only daughter in school. It's like now I can laugh of it, but I couldn't do it before. That she would be the only girl in school who said, "About my parents are divorced." I think I'm brought up in the 70s, and that was very untypical. Not typical that parents were divorced. But now time has changed, and it's very normal that parents break up and recouple with new partners. All right, but there I was. And I want to demystify that actually divorce is just a process. And we have to be very proud that we're taking the decision to listen to our inner voice and what our heart tells us, and not what the outer world tells us. I so lived on life for so many years on what they thought would be the best for me, but I was living other people's lives. I was not living my own life, because I knew many years before I decided to divorce that I shouldn't have been in this relationship. I knew when we were going to the therapist and I was sitting there and he asked me, "Hey, Camilla, what do you really want?" I didn't dare to say that I wanted the divorce, because I was so afraid of breaking his heart, of breaking my heart. It's not my own heart, but my daughter's heart. And actually, I was ashamed to own it. And I didn't even feel that room I was in supported my message. And that's another reason why I go live and I talk so much and I give so much of my own story, also to help you decide who is actually your best. It's not about friends, but who are your best professional resources on your team. I certainly had experience where I had professional resources on my team who didn't support where I wanted to go, who didn't listen to what I was telling. Actually, they just told me something else. Like I shared it many times, but I was told to give more sex. Come on. It's just, how can you tell someone who's so afraid of her partner or his partner, just play small? That's what they told me. Just play small, Camilla. Let him win. I mean, I would never say that in coaching, because coaching is all about setting you up for success, whatever you want in your life. I will never advise you to play mediocre. I would never advise you to play small. I would never do that. But I was told to do that. And that was also part of then lingering and procrastinating divorce. And that's also the reason why sharing my story and inspiring you to work with the right people. So if you're listening to this live or in the replay, I so much want you to just listen to what I share with you right now, because this is not just a solo show brought to you by Calberg Coaching. No, this is co-creation to help shift perspective and redefine what divorce is, and redefine what co-parenting is, and to help you define, or not define, but also to create a better life on the other side of divorce. And when you go through divorce, when you're even planning for, a divorce, or when you are on the post-divorce, that each phase has different perspective, have different needs, requires different things of you. So if you listen to this and you help people through divorce, you may be a financial planner, you may be a private banker, wealth, what do we call it in English? Wealth banker, advisor. You may be a mortgage lender. You may be a child psychologist. You may be a wellness coach, you may be a stress coach, you may be about the eating disorder, you may be emotional coach, you may be helping executives tapping into meditation and affirmations. The spectrum of going through a divorce and thriving through divorce and creating another better life on the other side of divorce is bigger than just my field. It's bigger than just my field. And I invite all you in who help people get a better life to join my show, because you have a voice and your voice matters as well. And for example, I just want to also reach out to the insurance company. And I realized something. And so I've been on this journey for quite several years. And when I was doing it in the now, I just had to do it. But I realized there was something I lacked. And one thing is the insurance. I had never thought before going into divorce and being stuck in it and feeling really that this was not comfortable and my daughter needed help. I had never before considered buying an insurance product for my daughter with that one purpose, to get her psychological help right now. All right, I never thought about it. So what I did, I went to my insurance company and I bought this this product, because my partner didn't believe that my daughter was suffering. All right, but she was suffering. And she needed help here and now. And you know what I experienced? And you say, of course, yes, of course it is so. But I had a quarantine of 6 months. All right, my daughter couldn't wait for 6 months. So I decided, and that I did a lot of financial decision in the first 6 months or 9 months of my my divorce, when I was in it, divorce process. To invest of my own pocket, one of the best child psychologists in Copenhagen area. I didn't want to play mediocre. I didn't want to wait 2 months to use my national security. No. And I got her on a list, and I got her on a list. I can't remember, it was 1 or 2 weeks after. And those experiences I just did. I just acted because I needed help, and I needed help. My daughter needed help, and Varela, you recognize this, is that when our children suffer, we suffer as well, whether we realize it or not, whether we subconsciously know about it or not. But when our children are happy, we tap into happiness. And so that's what I did. I invested money in this psychologist, and we went there once a week and sometimes twice a week, and I invested a fortune in it, but I invested in my daughter. And that's some of the reasons why I go live. And I discussed this with a lawyer. I had a podcast interview early this week with an attorney from Arizona in US. And I was just, the more I talk about my story, the more I share my experience, the more I dig into what I did, but what is not common. And that is the reason also why I go live with these morning shows, and why I invite you in on my morning show, so we can prepare ourselves. And I can help you, or my team can help you. And we are a big team, because not only my team in Calberg Coaching, right? It's a bigger team because it's a whole industry, but helping you thrive before, during, and after divorce. What I don't think what I did say, but divorce is the second highest stressor any human being can experience. All right, the second highest stressor, any human being can experience. The highest stressor, or the number one stressor, is death in family or in our closest circle. So then if we compare stress to being stressed at work, then we reach out for help. And we probably, a few people, or you may have been a victim of work stress, work stress yourself. And you know how long it takes to thrive and to heal. And it also requires you to work your inside. It's really inside work. But there are so few people who reach out for help when they go through divorce. And that's why we have these high conflict situations. And I've never had a book in my hand who talked about, okay, what is the guide? What do you do before you file for divorce? The first phase. What do you do when you go through that? What do you have to make sure that you have? How do you make sure that you cover yourself? Self-nurture. How do you show up at work? What is the consequence if you don't heal, if you don't reach out for help? Because you will sacrifice or sabotage your career, whether you know it or not. And it doesn't matter whether you're more executive, you may be better at navigating and playing the game, but there are still some emotions that haven't been healed. There are still elements that have to be dealt with. And because divorce is the second highest stressor, the faster you can get the right help on your team, the better you are at performing also in your current role. And then you can live at this result and you can impress other people, right? And you can do what you know what you do best. And that is probably in your role, and that get other people on your team that knows how to help you. It's all about helping you. And then going back to the guide, what do you do after divorce? I recently discovered, I talked so much, I mentioned in the beginning, about after divorce. But after divorce is actually maybe the co-parenting project. How do you do that? Now you are a single mom. Now you are a single dad. How do you navigate that? Like me, my daughter hasn't seen her dad for almost 2 years, but there's a fight in court going on, right? How do you navigate that? How do you delegate that to the universe and just focus on what you are best at? How do you train yourself to do that? That is mental training, and you can't do that without tools and without a strategy. How do you meet your best new partner? How do you do that? How do you look at your friends, or not in your friends? How do you look at your children? How do you help them heal? There are so many perspectives on the co-parenting, which I haven't found a book which mentions it all. And that's another reason why I do these shows. And you may not have children, but then you may linger in pain. You may linger in this, I'm not worthy of love if you've been left. Money been frozen. I know so many people, stories where the money been frozen. What do you do now? What is my next friend? What is my next boyfriend or partner? I know people who have jumped from one relationship to another. And the reason, I'm not going to say, I'm not a judge here, but the reason why some of these relationships will not last is because you haven't healed your pain. If you haven't healed and you haven't found your inner peace and your inner North Star, then you just continue in this negative emotions, then a negative energy, and you will take that on into your next relationship. That is why it's so important to heal before you at least for me, to what I can advise you to heal first, because then you create your better life after divorce, on the other side of divorce, and you're ready to meet the partner who wants to be your partner on your terms and conditions. But if you haven't healed, then all the emotions and the negative emotions and beliefs and the behavior from the past, you still carry on that. But there are some things you that no longer serves you, right? So get rid of that. Let that go and grow yourself and grow your self-awareness, where you what didn't serve you and where you actually want to be. How do you want your life to be? That's cut down. It's a mix of Danish and English. It's like all that boiled down. That is the reason why I go live. every day with this happiness is real, because what I know to be true, and though I keep inspiring people, is that I know that when you have strategy, when you have tools, happiness is real. Happiness is real. And it is real. You just need to get the right tools and strategy, because then your outer world could be as chaotic as it may will, right? But you are not being influenced by the outer world. And that's what I learned, is that if you have inner peace, you can, whatever comes your way, it doesn't matter, because when you're in inner peace, you can take the smart decisions. You will change your energy, and when you change your energy, as Dr. Joe Dispenza says, you change your life. Hope that makes sense. When you change your energy, you change your life. So with this introduction, I hope that you will continue joining me on these live streams, do the replay. If you found it valuable, please take me a moment to drop me a comment, and take a screenshot and share this episode with your friends and dear ones who really need support when they go through a major life transition, whether that is a divorce or not. And I say thank you so much for tuning into today's session. And remember, happiness is real, as I mentioned. Happiness is real. So wherever you are on your divorce journey, remember there is light at the end of the tunnel, and the next chapter of your amazing life, your amazing next step, is going to be your best life ever. It's going to be your best life ever. And it's an honor to be on your journey with you and support you and give as much tools as I can, and bring on amazing guests who will share their experiences with helping people through life transforming, major life transitions, and tell you, or not tell you, but advise you, inspire you to do something differently. So with this, I just want to say thank you so much. Remember to tune in daily, 9:30 CST, either on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook. And I hope I will continue to inspire you. And that's at least my intention, to bring on as much inspiration as possible and practical advice to help you create a more thriving, happy future on the other side of divorce. With this, enjoy the rest of your Friday, or whenever you listen to the replay, and we will connect again tomorrow. Bye for now.